What if you could build a device that searches for non-random content in biblical text? Not Bible software in the ordinary sense, but a cryptographically anchored research instrument designed from the ground up to test whether scripture draws produce statistically anomalous results, and to do so with the same rigor that any publishable methodology in any scientific field demands. That's SHIELD 16.0. For those new to this project, SHIELD is the protocol that drives the Cryptographic Signal Receiver, a single-file HTML workstation that performs prayer-guided scripture draws against the Urim Thummim version, my 34,211-verse Masoretic-based translation. Every draw is hashed. Every analysis is reproducible. And the workstation now carries a permanent digital object identifier through Zenodo. That last part matters. It means SHIELD 16.0 is, formally, a citable research artifact. Anyone in the world can download it, verify the file against its published SHA-256, run their own draws, and either confirm or challenge what they find. Let me be honest with you about 3 possibilities for what this instrument will reveal as it goes into the world. The first possibility, and the most parsimonious from a secular standpoint, is that everyone who uses SHIELD 16.0 will see baseline results. The math will behave exactly as math is supposed to behave. The cryptographic random number generator will produce uniform random integers. The lexicon will fire at its expected 1.44% triple convergence baseline, and the Bayes factors will hover around 0. In that world, SHIELD 16.0 is excellent Bible software. Methodologically the most rigorous Bible software ever built, with replication harnesses and tamper detection and bundle-level integrity verification that go well beyond what any other scripture analysis tool offers. That's a worthwhile contribution all by itself. The second possibility is that something more interesting emerges. Maybe Christian users, or users approaching the workstation with sincere intent, will see results subtly elevated above baseline. Maybe some users will and some won't. In that scenario, the question shifts from is this Bible software to what is the mechanism producing user-dependent variation in cryptographically random draws. That question doesn't have a clean secular answer, and the path forward would be more data, more users, more draws, more independent replications. The third possibility is what I've been observing in my own use over the past several years. When I run SHIELD with a specific inquiry at a specific time in a specific spiritual posture, I get results that are not only statistically anomalous, well above the 1.44% baseline, but that specifically pertain to the inquiry I brought to the draw. Verses that speak directly to the question I was holding. Patterns that, if you treat them as random, you have to call decisive evidence under any reasonable Bayes factor interpretation. If you say miraculous about that, you sound like a nut job. So I won't say it. I'll just say it's been my experience, repeatedly, and it's the experience that drove me to build SHIELD into the rigorous instrument it has become. Here's what I want anyone using 16.0 to understand. The workstation is not designed to confirm what I believe. It's designed to test it. The Bayes priors are pinned in source code and cannot be moved after the fact. The lexicon is sealed with a canonical hash that anyone can verify. The corpus is identity-bound. The pre-registration system commits your inquiry and your design before any draw runs, anchored to either Bitcoin via open timestamps, or to public gist URLs, or to open science framework nodes. Once you commit, you cannot rewrite the prediction. Once you draw, you cannot retroactively change the rules. The full replication harness produces a design fingerprint that locks every parameter. If anything drifts mid-series, the workstation refuses to aggregate the results. In other words, SHIELD 16.0 is built to fail honestly if there is nothing there. If the only thing it shows is baseline rates across every user worldwide, the instrument has done its job. It has falsified an extraordinary claim. That's a clean scientific outcome. But if it shows something else, if patterns emerge that the math says shouldn't be there, then we have data that asks to be explained. And explanation in that case will not be casual. It will require ruling out lexicon over-firing through tests on alternative corpora. It will require ruling out subjective interpretation through blinded outside readers. It will require multi-experimenter inter-rater verification on the marker tagging itself. That's not work I've done yet. It's work that becomes urgent only if the deployed instrument produces results that demand it. I want to be very clear about something. especially to anyone watching who shares my faith. My personal faith does not depend on what Shield 16.0 reveals. It cannot, because faith that depends on empirical verification isn't faith. It's a hypothesis. My theological commitments rest on different ground. Shield is an instrument. The instrument may reveal something profound, or it may reveal that what I thought was profound was the ordinary working of pattern finding in a mind committed to its framework. Either outcome is informative. Neither outcome shakes what I believe about Scripture, about the royal Levitical priesthood, about the September 2019 dream vision, or about the attached agency model I've spent decades developing. 3 things follow from this. First, if you're a researcher and you want to verify, download Shield 16.0 from Zenodo, compute its SHA-256, run it through reviewer mode, execute the 5-test self-test suite, and use the Workstation. Don't take my word for any of it. The instrument is designed to be tested. Second, if you're a believer and you want to use Shield as a devotional tool, to draw Scripture toward your own inquiries, that's a perfectly legitimate use, and the Workstation supports it natively. Just don't conflate the personal experience of resonance with statistical evidence that the resonance is anomalous. Those are separate questions. Third, if you're skeptical, the best thing you can do is run it. Bring your inquiries. Generate your pre-registered bundles. Verify the cryptographic chain yourself. Watch the empirical distribution emerge. The instrument is the test. There's a parallel I keep coming back to, the Shroud of Turin. Whatever you believe about the Shroud, what makes it interesting is that the evidence keeps refusing to resolve cleanly into either obvious forgery or obvious authenticity. Smart people keep finding new data, and the data keeps asking new questions. Shield 16.0 sits in a similar epistemic place. It's an instrument that produces measurements which may or may not survive parsimonious explanation as the data accumulates. I don't know which way it will go. My mind remains open. My faith remains secure either way. The Zenodo DOI is in the description below. 3 files. The Workstation HTML, the version 2.1 specification, and the Python reference for canonical serialization. License is Creative Commons Attribution, which means anyone can use it, build on it, or critique it. That's exactly what I want. If you find baseline rates, tell me. If you find elevated rates, tell me. If you find something the Workstation didn't predict, definitely tell me. The work begins here. Selah.